I see multiple Niners fans want to go after Odell Beckham Jr. now, considering the fact that Antonio Brown was in the domestic dispute incident, and the police report ended up saying that he ended up throwing a girl to the ground or a woman to the ground in the dispute he was in. Now, this is the thing. It's going to be very hard. Like, I did hear, I believe it was New Year's Day that the Giants would be open to trade Odell Beckham Jr., their stud wide receiver, probably one of the best receivers in the game. But they'd be open to trade Odell Beckham Jr. for a good deal. So the Niners could give up, um, whatever it takes for them to give up, really. But for me personally, I didn't even think the Niners were going to pursue Antonio. I made a video about this in the domestic dispute video where I talked about the Antonio Brown situation. But personally, I didn't even think that the Niners were going to even pursue him in the beginning. I feel like John Lynch would be too cheap for Antonio Brown, and I feel like John Lynch would not make a move to try and go out and get Antonio Brown. Now, that could mean different things, whether, they want to buff up the defense, which is a very likely possibility, rather than to go out and get Antonio Brown. They could be rather wanting Odell Beckham Jr. possibly in a trade, or they could just go out and get a free agent receiver, sign him. We ain't got to give up any picks, and then just bump up our defense. We could get Golden Tate, Devin Funchess, Cole Beasley's a free agent. So there's free agents out there we could go and get. But personally, I mean, if you can go out and get Odell Beckham Jr., I wouldn't be mad. Antonio Brown though, especially since we've seen the situation with Reuben Foster and what happened with us releasing him. It's a very highly likely chance that the 49ers do not even pursue Odell Beckham Antonio Brown. So should we go out and get Odell Beckham Jr. if we're not going to pursue Antonio Brown, which is a very likely possibility? In my opinion, yes. I mean, obviously, he's one of the best receivers in the game. We need a receiver. Don't know what Giants are going to want to give up, or don't know what Giants are going to want the 49ers to give up if we ended up trading for him. But I could definitely see a first-round draft pick, either this year's or next year's, or maybe we even swap first-round picks, which could be another thing that we do. But who knows? We'll see what happens. But considering the fact that Antonio Brown is likely going to not be pursued by the Niners anymore, and I didn't even think they even made calls about Antonio Brown when there was speculation about him wanting to join the 49ers, the 49ers being interested. So I don't even think there was real interest that John Lynch and Shanahan had into go and getting Antonio Brown before this domestic dispute problem. We'll see what happens, but with Odell Beckham Jr., it could kind of shift in a way. And really, in all reality, we could go out and trade for him. But should the 49ers trade for Odell Beckham Jr., with Antonio Brown highly likely not being pursued by the 49ers anymore, or maybe even looked at. Like I said, I don't even think we were going to pursue him in the beginning. I guarantee you kind of looked at the situation and was like, okay, maybe Pittsburgh was going to want, too much to give up. But now that, this domestic dispute problem, came in, it's almost certain that the 49ers are not even going to look at him, not even going to throw a deal at Pittsburgh for him. So, like I said, it could be one of two things. Maybe we go out and, get a free agent receiver, play it cheap, spend the rest of our defense, or maybe we just, go out and just bump up our defense completely without even getting a receiver in general. But I think we could sign somebody in free agency or draft somebody, but maybe I don't know. Maybe the 49ers do pursue Odell Beckham Jr. Maybe they didn't want to pursue Antonio Brown because they want to pursue Odell Beckham Jr. But they could pursue, Odell Beckham Jr., but it's going to be probably a lot to give up. So we'll see what happens. But should the 49ers, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Should the 49ers pursue Odell Beckham Jr. now since we are highly likely not going to be looking at Antonio Brown anymore.